got Kit from his Twitch channel is Kitboga. I've been watching a good bit of it. Very good stuff. We're big fans of prank phone calls, but yours are a little bit different.
Thank you, dude.
You're not a, you're sort of pranking scamsters, like scam artists, right?
Yes. Yeah. From a range of like IRS tax fraud type people to the like the tech support stuff that you've probably seen, where they're like, "You've got a virus on your computer."
Do you talk to a lot of those like, "There is a problem with your Windows account," and then you have to, deal with that? Are they usually pretty resilient, those Indian fellas? Yeah, I'd think so, because they're one kick away from a sweatshop, right?
Oh, good. They definitely, like, there's a different dynamic going on, and they seem to be fine with just like lying about anything. And some of my favorite moments are when we can insert anything we want into the conversation, and they're like, "Oh yes, absolutely," and like, you have no clue.
Listen, honey, I need your credit card information, please, honey. Like I was watching the other night. You had 20,000 concurrent viewers. I was just watching it skyrocket up, and you got crazy numbers. You're on the front page of Twitch. It's the people at Twitch definitely like what you're doing. I think everybody does, because you're going after the worst of the worst. These are the people who like prey on the old, the ignorant, people who don't really understand computers. If you miss, and I wanted to, we were talking about this before the show. I think this is Taylor's question, but I'll steal it. How do you find these people, these scamsters? Like you mentioned on the stream that sometimes if you type in a URL incorrectly, like a red page pops up and it's like, call this Microsoft support number, your computer's been locked, et cetera, et cetera. How are the other ways that they insert their scams, and like, what's the net they cast out? Yeah,
and it's always changing too, which is interesting for me. It's not like, oh, it's just one thing that happens every single time. One of the ways that they've done it too is they'll cold call you, and they'll say your Microsoft activation key has expired. Or that's what the IRS folks do too. They say, we did an audit on your taxes and you're under arrest, basically.
The IRS often threatens arrest over the phone. Yeah.
Have you gotten those calls? A lot of people have.
Yeah, I've gotten those, but it's not very convincing. When it's like, I am with the IRS and you are under arrest. It's like, you're in New Delhi, motherfucker. Like,
I think they definitely target old people, like, for sure. Old people. And I imagine that's part of why I actually started, is because my grandmother kind of had some of that type of stuff happen. And you get when you're 80 years old and someone's telling you barely understand taxes as it is, and someone's telling you we did an audit and you're under arrest, you might start to. Yeah.
Oh, well, I thought I was doing so well. 87 years strong.
Right. Never had problems.
Discrepancy with your 1924 return. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, like, let me dig that up from my file. I said that once. I was like, oh, let me pull up. I like opened my drawer and I'm like, let me get my taxes out. And they just click, like, oh, this guy knows. Shit. This guy's got his taxes in front of him.
Yeah. So how do you keep them on the line without, or I guess you're just giving them all bogus information, but it seems like after a couple questions, they'd like cut loose and try and find a real sucker.
Yeah, it depends. It's definitely evolved since I got started. So it's probably been, I was trying to figure this out before the show. It's probably been a year that I've been calling them, and 9 or so months that I've been on Twitch. And
you're pretty technologically advanced with it, though. I saw you're using a virtual machine for them to remotely operate. You've got a burner debit card, credit card for
a bunch of them. Yeah.
Like this is
I'm just impressed stuff. His audio doesn't suck. Like that's what blows me away. He does voices, old guys, women, whatever.
Yeah.
He'll be throwing an accent, and then the audio thing just like makes it that much better. Me, on the other hand, I don't want to talk about it.
We're really struggling with audio video around here. Okay, the combination of the two is a little bit much.
With video,
but, well, of course. I mean, we would be
video
a great
is the most
mime
important aspect of a podcast.
Yeah, if we could mime.
Oh, it's tough. It definitely is too. I have 3 monitors and then a 4th like laptop when I have everything up.
Oh, if more monitors would solve the problem, I would pick them up. It's no. Please.
You just know that at this point you've been doing it long enough that in that giant, call center of Indians trying to scam elderly people, there's at least one dude assigned to watching Twitch now.
It's
who's
possible.
have to be like, screaming out, "Hey, Koresh, get off that line. It's Kit again.
Right. I think it's possible, but it's not just. I might be the only guy on Twitch doing it, but like there's other people that do this. You've probably seen it on like YouTube or different places. So
they get pissed. I've noticed. I don't know how the payment works for them. How many rupees they get every time they bamboozle some poor old man into signing away $10,000 for remote computer access repair. But it seems like they really want it badly, and that's the best part because you can push them to the limit. And if they think there's a chance that $10,000 are about to get wired to them, they just stick with it.
Yes.
Right. I liked the one the other day where you were like, I'm gonna mess this up. You were like at a store pretending like you were on the phone with Raymond or something like that, and you're like, oh, I just saw someone I know, and they think I'm talking to Raymond because I was pretending to. And so you have to pretend to be Raymond, okay? I'm gonna hand. And he like hand the phone to him. And you just change the voice modulation from old lady to like young girl, and you're like, "Hi, is this Raymond? It's been so long." I fucking love it. I wanted to talk about the voice modulation software or setup that you're using. What is that about? Because I'm interested in this now.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I never answered an original question though. So can I? Is it okay if I go back for a second?
Yes.
And you had mentioned like how what lengths do they go to, and how do I keep them convinced that I'm someone they can scam? And so the virtual machine is definitely part of it, and the voices is part of it. We can talk about that. But I do have just like tons of different personas and names, and like before a call, I'll start jotting down different addresses that lead to like the middle of nowhere or PO boxes, because I don't want to give like a real phone. We have our own like PBX, like our own calling systems, PBX stuff, where we just buy blocks of numbers that aren't like some old lady in Timbuktu, because if sometimes they call back and they get angry, and I'm like, I don't want them. I'm not going to use some other person's phone number, right? And
wow,
but anyway,
I wouldn't have even thought of that.
yeah, they get so. One night on stream, I was using a number that they could call me back on, because sometimes I don't give them. I use like non-working 555 stuff from the movies, right, where they can't call you back. But one night, this guy just would not stop calling me, and it was kind of funny. But I was imagining some old lady who hangs up the phone, and they just call back again and again and again and again. But